Om Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. Om Namo Brahmadibhyo Brahma Vidya Sampradaya Kartribhyo Vamsha Rishibhyo Namo Gurubhyaha. So we were in we finished the 8th mantra here in the 4th chapter of the 3rd Brahmana. So in the 8th we saw that the Upanishad talked about Ihaloka and Paraloka, correct? In the context of this Janma, the current Sharira, whatever we have, and once you die and give up this Sharira, then you will have to take up the another Sharira where you go to the Paraloka or the next, whichever may be that. Paraloka can be a Swargaloka or Pitruloka or some other Adholoka also. So like even one goes from waking to dream, where also one gives up the waking body and sense organs and all that, and in the dream we take up a different body and sense organs, correct? Similarly, the Upanishad talks about giving up this body in the context of death. Okay, so you give up this body and senses and then take up another body. So like I said already, a jiva cannot be there without a body. That's why in our shastras we also talk about a preta sharira. Even if somebody dies, they take up a preta sharira, which is like an intermediate sharira, and through that preta sharira only one travels to whatever is the next janma. And all our antya karma, whatever we do for 11 days, it is all actually for developing this preta sharira properly so that the jiva can travel. And as I told you already, we even do like a literal goodbye on the last day, saying that you now go wherever you are supposed to go, and you do all the whatever dhanam and some dharma karya you do, so that whatever that punya will help that whoever has died to take up the next janma easily. So that is how we actually do all our karma. In fact, understanding this and doing even the ante karma will help us, because for us it is not that the person is totally non-existent or anything. That is something important we have to understand. Even though we may not be able to see that person in that body and all that, but what we have to understand is, unless it is a very, let us say, tragic death and all that, somebody has lived a full life, and then once the body becomes old and all that, even that person, whoever is that person, doesn't want to keep on holding on to that body, correct? In fact, initially the prayers of most people is for whatever good health and all that. That is when you are in your youth and even in middle age, you want good health. But later on, many people, in fact, even ask me. So they don't want any difficult death and all that, correct? So we have a prayer for that also. Anayasena maranam vina dainyena jivanam dehi me kripaya shambho, like that. So give me death, but the death should be easy death, not suffering in some hospital and a wheelchair and whatever, correct, or in some ICU. And also whenever I live also without any weakness, let me live. Vina dainyena. Since I have a reasonable body to take care of my day-to-day whatever, correct? At least the daily things I should be able to take care of by myself. So something like this, many people, their prayer becomes that. Also, those who are uh, there in our tradition, correct? They look forward to the next Janma, I think, because we have internalized the karma so much. And that is also important. Therefore, we do not look upon death itself as some kind of an end or end of existence and all that. It is only the start of a new journey, new beginning. So here, the same point, in fact, the Upanishad is now going to say, first it talked about how even after death, one goes to another loka and all that, correct? So this Janma and then next Janma, that was given here, the living and death. Now the next Janma itself is talked about in more detail in the next Vakya here. And Shankaracharya is giving an introduction to that. Let us see. Nanu nastaha asya ubhau lokau yau janma maranabhyam anukramena sancharati swapna jagarite iva swapna jagarite tu pratyaksham avagamyete natu iha loka paralokau kenachit pramanena. So now there can be a doubt, correct? Or you can say the Purva Pakshi is saying there is nothing nastaha, means there is no paraloka. Ihaloka and paraloka are not there. There are many people like that, like Charvakas are there. They say that Rinam Kritva Gritam Pibe Bhasmi Bhutasya Deyasya Punaragamanam Kutaha. So once you have burnt this body, okay, nobody is going to come back. There is nothing, there is no more individual or anything. Jiva is not there, gone, that's it. Along with the body, Dehatma Buddhi, those who only take the Deha itself as the Atma, for them, once the Deha is burnt, that's it. There is no more self or anything. There is no more individual. So they say that at least while you are living, take loan and drink ghee. Means enjoy as much as possible. There is only one life. This is one philosophy, you can say. Many people take that seriously, I think. And in the process, they may do something wrong also. Because they think that there is only one Janma, there is nothing more. So I have to do everything now. But then our thinking was never like that. For us, we have to live by Dharma. Because Dharma alone comes with you. Your own Papa Punya alone is going to go with you. This body and all, even if you live and you die, will along with that the body is gone, but your Papa Punya is going to travel with you. With that only you are going to take another body. So that's why for us it is very important. Even if you are not a Jnani, you are not a Vedantin, you have to still be a Dharmika and gain Punya, correct? Now in this question is what the Upanishad is saying, like the waking body we live and get into dream. Similarly, upon death, we leave this body and take up another body in another loka. But it is not like that, he says. Nanu nastaha. Why? See, asya ubhau loka, you are saying. You are saying two lokas are there. Iha loka, paraloka, they are not there. Why? Yau janma maranabhyam anukramena sanchariti swapna jagarite iva. So like you said, that like we leave the Jagrat world and enter the Swapna world, like that we will leave this, whatever, this current life and enter into another loka after death. That is not there. There is no paraloka. Why he is saying Swapna Jagrite tu Pratyaksham Avagamyete. See, the Swapna and Jagrat, we know by our own perception. Correct? There is direct perception of the waking world, going to dream world, again coming back to waking world. This is my experience. But then nobody experiences the paraloka. He says, Natu ihaloka paraloka kenachit pramanena. Through any pramana, we are not knowing the ihaloka and paraloka. There is no pramana for that. This is the Purva Pakshi. Okay, so kenachit pramanena ihaloka paraloka na nasti. It is not there. What is the pramana for that? Therefore, Bhashyakara says, therefore, what tasmat ete eva swapna jagarite ihaloka paraloko iti uchyate. Okay, now he says, therefore, even the two lokas which the Upanishad may talk about should be taken as only Jagrat and Swapna. It is not that ihaloka and paraloka. Like you say, the ihaloka, paraloka and all is only ihaloka references the Jagrat, paraloka is the Swapna. Not like what you say, that there is really some other loka which you go after death. So if you raise an objection like this, uchyate, for this only now the Upanishad is starting the next mantra here. So let us see that. Tasya va etasya purushasya dve eva sthane bhavata idam cha paraloka sthanam cha sandhyam tritiyam swapna sthanam tasmin sandhye sthane tishtan ete ubhe sthane pashyati idancha paraloka sthanancha. So now this is a very interesting thing which is revealed by the Upanishad. Okay. So the Upanishad is saying there are two sthanas. There are only two sthanas, it is saying, for this Purusha who is under discussion, correct? The Purusha who is undergoing the experience of waking and dream, that Purusha only. Tasya va etasya Purushasya dve eva sthane. There are only two places. Okay, two sthanas. And what are those? Idam cha, this. Idam is this loka. Paraloka sthanam cha, the whatever next to loka, paraloka, other loka you can say otherwise. And what? And there is a third state, sandhyam tritiyam swapnasthanam. Now the dream itself is considered as a connecting point. So how do you say that there is paraloka? Means for that the Upanishad is saying in the dream only you can see the next to loka also. So this is a very interesting thing revealed in the Brhadaranyaka only. I don't think there is any other Upanishad which talks about this. In fact, this dream is called Sandhyam here. Sandhyam means the whatever, like if you have Venn diagrams and all that, correct? We have studied in school. So we have some intersection point is there, correct? Meeting point or union point. So that is like the Sandhya. Means the connecting point you can say. So sitting in the connecting point, you can see both this loka and the next loka. Like this the Upanishad is saying. So tasmin sandhye sthane tishtan, being in that middle point or whatever the meeting point, ete ubhe sthane pashyati idancha paraloka sthanancha. So the jiva can see the paraloka also. Now when does this happen? Because in that normally dream, we understand dream as what? Dream is that generally we say that whatever you have experienced in the Jagrat alone comes in the dream. Okay, that is one way of looking at the dream. But dream also can show you something which is going to happen, correct? Many people dream. There are recorded instances where people dream about what is going to happen. Sometimes the what is going to happen happens in this life itself, but the Upanishad is saying you can even see in your dreams what your next life will be. That's very interesting, correct? So, in fact, many children, correct, we have learned that, and there are a lot of recorded instances, I think, research has been done. Children remember past life also, correct? or maybe they can even dream about past life, I think, because children do not have enough experiences to dream about this life. So maybe in their dreams they see the past life, or they actually remember in the waking also. Many children up to a certain age, they seem to remember their past life, and these things have been well documented. There are books also about this, correct? Many people are actually interested in this. Even during our college time and all, we used to read some of these books, correct? Many lives, many masters, and all those kinds of books are there. So as actually people have documented that there are past lives, and if past lives are there, then future life also has to be there. It's a given. It's an implication of that. And in fact, even in hypnosis, if you take, so one of the therapies in the hypnotherapy is past life regression. So you can be put in a hypnotic state, and we can give you commands to regress into a past life and see what happened and all that. So in the hypnotherapy, the past life regression is very much used to deal with fears and phobia. Okay, that is one thing. Or even some kind of in medical hypnosis also it is used sometimes for some autoimmune issues and all that. It may be caused by something, whatever happened in the past life. Mostly the phobia are all past life related, because whatever is associated with your death in the previous life, you may most probably have a phobia of that in this life. And again, the phobia is not rational. Somebody's, you cannot rationalize it. You may not be afraid of something. It may be even a silly thing like a feather, bird feather. Somebody can have a phobia. So how do you rationally you can't explain that? But for a person who has that phobia, the kind of experience they go through when that whatever to which they are phobic is present, it is really I have seen it also in some cases. They cannot be there only. They'll just jump and run away somewhere. Okay, they have a physically they are not able to be in the presence of something, and there is no rational experience, or conscious mind is not even there really. The conscious mind is overpowered by the subconscious, I think, and that phobia comes out, and that person will go away somewhere else. They cannot stand being in the presence of certain things. And you cannot go and tell them, why are you afraid? It is nothing. It is only a flower and all that. Some people, flower, feather, and things like that. So how do you explain to, even if they also know, once they go somewhere else and they are out of that whatever phobic reaction, consciously they are not afraid. So that phobia and all is really subconscious. And many times when we do hypnotherapy, we find that whatever that thing, it is somehow associated with one's own death in the previous life. Once that is known through hypnotherapy and they process it, then they don't feel the fear anymore. Okay, the phobic reaction is not really, even the thing need not be there. They cannot even see it on TV. That also I have seen. Okay. So some people have fear of snakes, let us say. They cannot see the snake even on TV. They will go out of that room. In fact, if the TV is there, they are watching TV, and if the snake comes, they cannot be there. But once you have undergone the therapy, then in fact, one person like that, they came. Then after the session, they didn't even recognize that phobia has gone. Okay, previously, that person cannot see the snake on the TV. Now, after the hypnotherapy, they were able to see it. And they didn't recognize, and they didn't jump and run away. And later on, that person recognized, I did not feel anything now after seeing the snake. Anyway, what I am saying is, past life is a big thing. Past life regression is being used in some cases as a therapy and all that. And we have many recorded instances of people remembering their past lives to lot of details which cannot be generally explained. Now, if past life is accepted, future life also has to be accepted, because whatever that individual who underwent the past life only is undergoing the current life. And even if this current life, the current body is gone, there is no reason why that individual has to, the jiva has to stop existing, correct? In fact, in one way, if we look at it, even scientists accept law of conservation of energy, law of conservation of mass. Like that, life itself need not be extinguished, correct? There should be a law of conservation of individual life, I think. So that the life takes one form, one body, one set of body and senses and all that. Then life can take another set of body and senses. Like even energy changes from one form to another, etc. The life also should be similar, I think. So we can give some supporting logic like that, but finally the Shruti alone is the pramana here. Like we have done this. In fact, somebody can do a study on this also, I think, based on what the Brhadaranyaka says here. What we understand is that in the childhood, one may dream about past lives and all that, or remember the past lives. And then once you become an adult and all that, mostly your dreams are about whatever experiences you have gone through in this life. But once you have gained enough papa and punya in this life, then once you are nearing your end, you can dream about your whatever the dreams you get at that time. That is the sandhyam. It is the point where all your current karma are like they are ready to fructify in a new life. That's what Bhashyakara will say in the Bhashya also. We will see that. So you have gained enough karma, enough papa and punya in this life, which are all like seed, but the seed has now come to a sprout stage. They are ready to fructify, and therefore you get a view of your next life also in your dreams. You should get like that. The Upanishad is saying. That is why this sthana is called Sandhye sthane tishtan yete ubhe sthane pashyati idam cha paraloka sthanancha. Like this it says. Then further, atha yathakramaha ayam paraloka sthane bhavati tam akramya ubhayan papmana anandascha pashyati. Okay, so akramaha, the word is used here. In fact, akrama in modern Sanskrit and even Hindi and all we use, correct? Akraman kiya and all that. Akramaha means some kind of a attack. Okay. But here, Bhashyakara gives a beautiful meaning to this. Okay. So you akramaha means he gives anena akramati, by which you don't attack here, but by which you go from one to the other. Okay. By the help of which, by standing or by taking the support of which you are able to see both sides. That's what he is saying. He is saying, anena akramati, akramaha, ashrayaha, avashtambha, like that he gives a meaning. Avashtambha means a pillar or a post. So many times, correct, we stand at a high point to see both sides of some, like a battle is happening or some other thing is happening, correct? You want to see both sides, you go and stand at a vantage point, correct? So in dream also, we take the help of this pillar or post or a vantage point. That is what is called akramaha here, or a vehicle, you can say. You from one place to another, you go, and that is the akramaha here. So atha yatha akramaha ayam paralokasthane bhavati tam akramam akramya ubhayan papmana anandascha pashyati. So here the akrama itself, what is the help with which we are able to see the or the vehicle through which we go to the next loka and see the things, means our own papa and punya only is called as akramaha here. Using that akrama only as a support or a pillar, we are able to see what is going to fructify in the next janma. And in that again, there can be both what? There can be pleasant experiences, unpleasant experiences, which depends on your whatever papa or punya you have done, you have collected now, correct? That's why the Upanishad says, I am paraloka akramaha, I am akramaha, paralokasthane bhavati, tam akramam akramya, ubhayan papmana anandascha pashyati. Means you see in the paralokasthana, whatever is there, in the next loka, whatever is there, both the papa, means the whatever the results of papa is called papmana here, and anandascha, joy, which is the results of punya, both of them one sees. Okay. So like this, the Upanishad says that in your dream, I take it that particularly once you have reached a certain old age and you are nearing the end in this life, your dreams will show you what kind of a life you are going to have in the next Janma. I don't know whether anybody has really done any research in this area, but it can be a research area, I think, based on whatever the Veda says, whether people really do dream like that, like dreams which are not connected to the current life at all totally, and maybe it gives them some indication how their next life is going to be, whether any dreams like that are reported. I don't know. There may be already some research on this, I think, but I have no idea whether anybody has done research and published based on this, but this can be done, I think. Then further, sa yatra praswapiti asya lokasya sarvavataha matram upadaya swayam vihatya swayam nirmaya swena bhasa swena jyotisha praswapiti atra ayam purushaha swayam jyotihi bhavati. So the swayam jyotihi, that's why this brahmana itself is called swayam jyoti brahmana, correct? This, in the dream world, you become your own light. There is no external light. Already we saw about that, but that is now explicitly stated here. So again, when you dream, what is the nature of this dream? Because we are talking about dream as the sandhyam, correct? As the point from where again one is able to have a look at even the whatever life which is going to come next. So that being the case, what is the nature of this dream? Means the nature of this dream is what? I am there while dreaming what? This whatever the world in which you are there, in that there are samskaras are there, correct? So that samskaras only asya lokasya sarvavataha matram upadaya, a little bit of that you take. Okay, this world which is all pervasive, from that you take a little bit. Then swayam vihatya means first what you give up this body, correct? And then swayam nirmaya means you now create something new. Okay, so you can put yourself in a dream body. You create a dream body and you go into that. And then what? Svena Jyotisha Praswapiti. You dream and you see everything in the dream world with your own light. Because there is no external light in the dream. It is the Atma Jyoti only which is lighting up the dream world. Therefore, what? Atra ayam purushaha swayam jyotihi bhavati. This purusha who is dreaming is self-luminous. The self-luminous Atma alone is lighting up the entire dream world. There is nothing external there. So that is the nature of the dream itself. And in such a dream, one can also see the next life is the interesting point which is revealed here. Let us see the Bhashya. Tasya etasya purushasya vai dve eva sthane bhavataha na tritiyam chaturtham va. So Bhashyakara now gives the Bhashya here. Tasya va etasya purushasya dve eva sthane bhavataha is there here in the beginning. You can see. For this he is giving the Bhashya, he says there are only two sthanas. The Upanishad is saying there is no third or fourth, correct? Na tritiyam chaturtham va. Now, what are these sthanas? Kete idam cha yat pratipannam vartamanam janma sharirendriya vishaya vedana vishishtam. So, idam means whatever we are currently, which is available to us, which is evident to us, correct? Yat pratipannam, the present world, present life, vartamanam janma. And again, it is characterized by what? Whatever body one has now. Sharira, body and senses, etc. And all the objects, the sense objects which you are again able to know, cognize. So it is characterized by this body, the senses, and all the objects which you are cognizing through that. So this Janma is characterized by that. That is one sthanam. Okay, sthanam, pratyakshataha anubhuyamanam. And what kind of sthanam? It is experienced directly through sense perception. Then the other one is what? Paraloka eva sthanam, paraloka sthanam. Paraloka sthanam, Bhashyakara is giving the vigraha for the samasa. Paralokaha eva sthanam here. Paraloka itself is the sthana or location. The other loka. And tacha shariradi viyogottara kala anubhavyam. And what is that paraloka sthanam? After giving up this body, shariradi viyoga. Shariradi padat, we have to take indriya and all that. So shariradi viyoga, after giving up this body, etc., uttara kala anubhavyam means that which has to be experienced after giving up this whatever body and senses, etc. That is the paraloka sthana. Okay. Now the Purvapakshi comes here. Nanu swapnaha api paralokaha tatha cha sati dve eva iti avadharanam ayuktam. So the Purvapakshi now says, now swapna also is one, should be considered as a paraloka. Then how can you say there are only two lokas or two sthanas? Swapna has to be counted as third. Like this, the Purvapaksha is there. Then Bhashyakara says, no. If you say it is not proper to take the swapna, or it is proper to take swapna as the third, therefore you cannot say, it is not proper to say that there are only two sthanas. If you say that, no. Why? Katham tarhi sandhyam tat. Because the Upanishad is saying the swapna is only a sandhyam. Sandhyam means it is there as a union, or in the it is the connecting point alone. It cannot be taken as independently as another sthana. It is only the connecting point between the two sthanas, that is swapna, and Upanishad itself says it is the sandhya. But again, although the swapna sthanam is called sandhyam, interestingly the Upanishad uses the word tritiyam for that. Okay. So Bhashyakara doesn't take the tritiyam very seriously here. He says there are only two sthanas. Tritiyam here is only, you have to take it in inverted quotes. It is not really a sthana, but it is only a connecting third. Third means it is third, but it is a connecting point. It is not, should not be taken as another sthana or a location. So ihaloka paralokayoho yaha sandhihi tasmin bhavam sandhyam. So that whatever is there at the union of this loka and the next loka, that portion is the sandhyam, that is the dream. It is not a separate sthana by itself. Therefore, yat tritiyam tat swapna sthanam. It is, you can count it as third, but it is not a separate third sthana. It is only sandhyam. The swapna sthana is only sandhyam. Therefore, what? Tena sthana dvitva avadharanam. Therefore, by this logic, we arrive at it that there are only two sthanas. Then he gives an analogy to assimilate this. He says, or an example he gives, nahi gramayoho sandhihi taueva gramo apekshya tritiyatva parigananam arhati. So now two villages are there, and in those days again between, or even now, correct, if we are living, I am living in a village, you go from one village to another, there is always in between some lands are there, correct, no man's land you can say. In between lands are there which are connecting one village with another village. That connecting land is not counted as another village, correct? It's just a path or something, or some even grazing land which connects two villages. So that cannot be counted as a third village. With reference to these two villages, that land is only a land which connects the two villages. Or it is like a boundary. Even between two countries, we have boundary. And in fact, even where fences are there, one country's fence will be there in one place, another country's fence will be there in another. Then there is a no man's land in between. It is something like that. That cannot be counted as another country, correct? So that's what Bhashyakara is saying here. But here I have to point out one interesting thing. Sureshwara actually differs from Bhashyakara here. See, this is why the Vartikakara need not always go along with the Bhashyakara. So that is why the Vartika's definition itself is that sometimes you have to say Durukti is there. Okay, or at least a different interpretation they should be able to give. Here I won't say Bhashya, whatever Shankara is saying is Durukti, but Sureshwara is giving a different perspective here. So what he says is, since the Upanishad explicitly says Tritiyam here, Swapnasthanam, this Dve Eva has to be read differently, he says. So he says the Evakara should not go with Dve. Okay. If the Evakara goes with two only, if you say, that is one kind of meaning we get, correct? But here, Sureshwara says that two locations, the Evakara should go with location. Swapna may not be a location, it is a state, okay, but it is still the third. That way, the 2 plus 1, the third one, you can give the word meaning third full meaning properly. That is his idea. So the Evakara should not go with 2, it should go with Sthana. The third one you are counting is the Swapna, which is like, even though it is said Swapna Sthana, it is a state. It is not a real location or anything. Like this, slightly the Sureshwaracharya is varying here how the Evakara has to be read. Anyway, it's a very, very minor point. I just thought I will mention that. So now, continuing, Katham punaha tasya paralokasthanasya astitvam avagamyate yad apeksha swapnasthanam sandhyam bhavet. So how do we say that this paraloka sthana is there? Paraloka is there. Astitvam, how do you know the existence of this paraloka sthana? And with reference to that only, we say the swapna is the connecting point, correct? Or the union, the boundary. So the swapna sthana becomes the sandhyam with reference to ihaloka and paraloka. But how do you know the paraloka is there? Means from the swapna itself we can know. That's what. So yataha tasmin sandhye swapna sthane tishtan bhavan vartamanaha yete ubhe sthane pashyati. So how do we know? Because being in the swapna sthana, okay, yete ubhe sthane pashyati, one sees both this world and the world which is going to come next. So that is what is said in the Upanishad here, correct? Ubhe sthane pashyati, you can see here. Ubhe sthane pashyati idam cha paralokasthanam cha, like this it is there. So again, Ube Sthane means Kete Ube. What are those two means? Idancha, Paralokasthanancha, whatever is there now and whatever is going to come, whatever we have to experience later, both one can see from the Swapna. Tasmat Sthaha, Swapna Jagarita Vyatirekena, Ubhau Lokau, Yau Dhiya Samanaha San Anusancharati, Janma Marana Santana Prabandhena. So therefore, other than the Swapna Loka, regularly in dream we do see something. Okay. All the time when you dream, we cannot say you are going to see the Paraloka. So Bhashyakara says, being there, other than whatever you see in waking and dream, you also see the two lokas, Ubhau, Lokau. And again seeing the next Janma also what? With the same Dhiya Samanaha San means that Chaitanyam alone identifying with the being similar to the intellect or mind only, it again goes from one body to another, like it does during waking and dreaming, it does during even one life and another life after death. So Janma Marana Santana Prabandhena means again this life and life and death keeps on going. It is a series. And Santana Prabandha means it is a incessant series, you can say, or unending series. Okay, it's an infinite series, really speaking. So like that, it keeps on going. Further what? Katham punaha swapne sthitaha san ubhau lokau pashyati kimashrayaha kena vidhina iti uchyate. Again, how do you see? By being in the swapna, on what basis, taking the support of what can you see the next loka? How are you then able to see the next loka? Okay. Kena vidhina means by what rule, or taking the kim ashraya means by taking the support of what? The help of what you are able to see means that is now said by the Upanishad. Iti uchyate. What does it say? Atha katham pashyati iti shrinu. Now listen how it sees. Now you listen that. What is that? That is what is this is atha. Then what? Yatha kramaha ayam paralokasthane bhavati tam akrama papmana anandascha pashyati. That is what now Bhashyakara says. Yatha kramaha. Now akramaha means akramati anena iti akramaha, by which you do something. Okay, you do an activity. Here we cannot say you attack, but you go. Here akramaha means you go from one thing to another, or you see one thing from one place, you see something else. That is called akramaha, and that is the ashrayaha or avashtambaha ityarthaha. He says ashraya means again a help or a support, and avashtamba means a pillar or a post. So that's why I said, like if you want to see both the villages, you can raise a watchtower at the boundary border, correct? See, even those who patrol the borders, you have a watchtower, a pillar where you can go on top and then see both sides, correct? What is happening? That's how we can patrol. So something like this only the Upanishad is saying, you are taking the help of this akrama to see. Akrama is really a pillar or a post here, or an avashtamba. And what kind of pillar or post it is? Yadrishaha akramaha asya saha ayam yathakramaha. So what is the kind of this support you are taking, or the pillar or post where you are standing, so that based on which you are able to see it? Based on that, yathakramaha means using that, the whatever is there, correct? You are able to ayam purushaha paralokasthane pratipattavye nimitte. So to see the paraloka, what is the cause? This support which you are taking is the cause, but what kind of cause it is means? So nimitte yathakramaha bhavati adrishena paraloka pratipatti sadhanena vidya karma purva prajna lakshanena yuktaha bhavati ityarthaha. So now Bhashyakara explains that. So this yathakramaha means what? Whatever is helping you to see the paraloka, whatever you are going to gain, what kind of body and what kind of experience you are going to have in the next loka. Okay, to see that, what is the means for you? The means is what? Vidya karma purva prajna lakshanena. So whatever upasana you have done, whatever karma you have done, all the punya and papa which you have gained, that you know, that purva prajna is there, and based on that only, so you are now going to see whatever is going to happen in the next loka. So that's what Bhashyakara is saying here. So whatever knowledge of the upasanas and the karma you have done, that knowledge itself is becoming the pole for you. Based on that, because and using that only you are seeing. That means why it is like that, Bhashyakara says beautifully here. How can this whatever karma and all that you have done help you see that? Means he gives, you can see here, tam akramam paralokasthanaya unmukhi bhutam prapta ankuri bhavam iva bijam tam akramam akramya avashtambya ashritya ubhayan pashyati. So here the akrama, which is actually making you see whatever is going to come, correct? It is making you face unmukhi bhutam, means you are now facing the next loka with the help of this. What is that? That is the seed form, correct? The karma which you have gained is like a seed, but the seed has now started sprouting, he says. So he says here, unmukhi bhutam prapta ankuri bhavam iva bijam, he says. The bija, your own karma is the bija, but that bija has now started sprouting. It is becoming ready now to fructify, and it can fructify only in the next life. Therefore, based on that alone, your own karma and all that, you are able to see what you are going to become in the next loka. So bijam tam akramam akramya. So taking the help of that, avashtambya, or standing on that, and with the support of that, ubhayan pashyati, you see both whatever has happened, in this life, whatever is going to come based on your whatever karma you have gained, that also one is able to see. Ubhayan pashyati. Again, bahuvachanam, dharma dharma phala anekatvat ubhayan ubhaya prakaran ityarthaha. So now here the bahuvachana is there, correct? Anandascha and all this there, correct? Anandan is plural. Papmana also is plural. So why bahuvachana means? Because there so many karma are there, and their phala also so many things you have to experience, correct? Both the pleasant and unpleasant things, so many things are there. You have to experience all that. Therefore, the bahuvachana is used. So ubhayan, ubhaya prakaran ityarthaha. So both types of results you are going to see, whether it is unpleasant or whether it is joyous and pleasant. Both you will see based on whatever karma you have done in this life, how the next loka is going to be there, what kind of experiences you will have there. Both pleasant and unpleasant you will see. Okay. And what are they? Kantan. Kanstan papmanaha papa phalani. So the results of all the papa you have done. Natu punaha sakshadeva papmanam darshanam sambhavati. So the okay, Bhashyakara here makes it clear. You cannot directly see your papa. Papa, the karma, correct? It is called adrishta. Karma itself you cannot see. The papa and punya cannot be directly seen, although it is associated with you. Each jiva is carrying one's own papa and punya, but that papa punya is not pratyaksha yogya, correct? It is not available for perception. You cannot directly see the karma itself, but the karma phala, how this papa or punya is going to fructify, that you will see, he says. So, sakshadeva papmanam darshanam na sambhavati. Okay, tasmat what? Papa phalani dukkhani ityartha. Therefore, all the dukkha which you are going to experience in the next life, you will see based on whatever papa you have done. But always, any life is not only dukkha, correct? Anandanscha dharma phalani sukhani ityetate. Also, you will see ananda, all the pleasant experiences, joys, and sukha. Okay, pleasant experiences, which are the phala of the dharma or punya phala. So tan ubhayan papmanaha anandanscha pashyati janmantara drishtau. Okay, janmantara drishta. Okay, here both the papa and punya one will see, and whatever is going to come in the janmantara, in the next life. So you are going to see both sufferings and joys which are there, correct? And both of them you are going to see. And further what? So Vasana Mayan, he says, means basically it is only an impression right now. It has not fructified. So it is like a impression or a software only. Or even it is like our DNA and all that, correct? Based on the genes only everything is happening. But based on that only you are able to see. Vasana Mayan, Janmantara Drishta, Vasana Mayan. It is all in the form of Vasanas. And that's what you are seeing. You are seeing in the Swapna, this Vasana and all, how it will become later on, whether it is a pleasant or unpleasant experiences, you will see. Further what? Yanicha Pratipattavya Janma Vishayani Kshudra Dharma Dharma Phalani Dharma Dharma Prayuktaha Devata Anugrahadva Pashyati. Okay, here Bhashyakara puts in a very interesting argument. Okay, so you can either take it as that you are going to see the whatever glimpses of the life you are going to have in the next life, correct? In the future life. So whatever you are going to experience, you are seeing it in your dream. That may be taken as because the whatever the bija is now ready to fructify, correct? It is come to an Ankura stage and all that. Or you can take it as through the grace of the devatas. Because many people are, because whether these experiences will be there for everybody also, we don't know. Okay, so Bhashyakara says it can be either dharma dharma prayuktaha, means based on your papa punya itself, they are so much ready to fructify that they only make you see it. Whether it is whatever kshudra dharma, adharma phalani, or whatever maybe it is. But it can be also devata anugrahadva pashyati. You see it because of the anugraha of your ishta devata or whichever devata you are doing upasana. If you are an upasaka, your upasana devata itself will make you see your next life, or maybe whatever life you are going to have in that loka. Because whenever we are talking about some upasana devata, the upasana devata is associated with the loka, correct? And the upasaka will go to that loka. Many times that is the phala of the upasana itself. Even the Pauranika upasanas are like that, correct? So if you are a Shiva upasaka, you go to whatever Kailasha and all that. Or Vishnu upasaka means you go to Vaikuntha. Some people talk about Golok Vrindavan. So many things are talked about, different types of loka. Or in general, we talk of a Brahma loka and all that, correct? Swarga loka, Brahma loka. So different devatas have their own loka where they are ruling and they whatever. That is how we visualize all these things. It can be even due to the anugraha of that devata. Okay. Okay. The rest of the things we'll see next week. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.
धन्यवाद गुरुजी.